I'm gonna sue! Booyah! It's time for the region-free Super 801 Pro multicart for the Super Nintendo, with the ability to add new games via this micro SD card, or TF card, whatever the heck you want to call it. Hey, look at it, it's kind of clear. Neato. This is the back of the cartridge. Do not immerse in water. Do not store at extreme temperatures. Do not turn the power switch on and off rapidly. Why the heck would you ever do that? Do not touch the edge connector with your fingers. Do not clean with benzene paint thinner, alcohol, or other such solvents. Well, there goes that plan. Alright, real quick, let's cover a couple of things. Region free, of course, means it will work in both the US and the Japanese versions of the Super Nintendo. Unfortunately, I do not have the European version to tell you whether or not this will do a PAL one, so sorry about that. I can't test that. If anybody knows, please tell me down below. Includes 800 games. I'm going to suspect they repeat or there's some weird stuff in here, but who knows? You can also add them via this SD card on the top, as I said before. Should be a pretty easy process of just dropping them on there, but I'll test that real quick. The one thing I really want to know is whether or not games save. That's kind of the most important part of this. All right, let's get going.
Thumbs up, comment and subscribe or I will go Skynet on your butt.
All right, here we are at the main menu. You can see we've got Start Game, Select Game. We've got an Options menu here, and it has Autosave. So I'm going to assume that there's some kind of saving function. We'll, of course, test that a little bit while we play. There is a ROM's settings section. Notice the Everdrive ID on there. And we're going to go in the toolbox, and you've got device info. Which is kind of interesting. It says the region's NTSC, so not 100% sure whether you can change that. Update OS, which of course will let you run an update on the firmware on here. And then we've got About, which, as you can see, it's basically a Super Everdrive knockoff. So at least we know what we're dealing with, right? All right, let's try out some games. All right, so let's try selecting a ROM here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through these USA NTSC ROMs, which of course are of most interest to me. Actually, I probably wouldn't mind tearing through those Japanese ones, but as far as a rough list of what's available, let's take a look at these, because we could take all day doing that if we wanted to. Anyway, looking at this, don't forget that you can freeze the screen if you're looking for a specific game. And I'm just going to kind of scroll through here. And there is actually not a lot of repeating, which I had expected. I'd expected a little bit less decent of a presentation here. Okay, so it ends on Final Fantasy 3. Let's go back a second. Let's go to part 2. Takes a little bit to load. And it starts on Final Fight. Ghoul Patrol. Ugh. Proving that sequels can suck. Sequels to really good games can suck. There's a topic to talk about. There's Mech Warrior. All right, it ends on NBA Live. Hey, take a look at that. Mr. Do for the Super Nintendo. I don't think I've ever played that. You know what? I think we're going to try that one. All right, in a minute, though, we're going to go through the rest of these, as I said I would. And there we go. Ugh, starting out on NBA. Not a big fan of sports games in general. And there is really, man, a lot of different games on here. Pretty impressive, really. Spanky's Quest. Look at there. Spin Dizzy. Just came out on the Everdrive. Evercade. I'm thinking Everdrive, though. Alright, let's go back. And then here's part 4 of the US games. And again, if you ever want me to do a video where I just kind of go through the other ones, it's fine. But since you can basically add your own, I mean, what's it matter, you know? Super Bowling is one of the best darn games ever. It's right there. And we'll probably play that one, I'm guessing. And WXYZ, there we go. And of course, Zombies Ate My Neighbors is right there. Good stuff. All right, let's actually try a game. I'm going to go back here. Would have been nice if they would have put what the letters are like through. So, you know, like A through E or whatever. But, you know, what do you want? And I think it was on the last page, which I should have gone back. By the way, I'm using the left and right on the D-pad to page forward. So you can page forward or go up and down. Here we go. We got Mr. Do. That's so odd. I'm going to select it with B. I think I have to hit start. There we go. It's loading it. That's pretty cool. This is ported by THQ. So is this a remake or is it just basically Mr. Do? Looks like it's just basically Mr. Do. Oop. Original mode. There we go. 1 player. And there we go. It's just Mr. Do. I mean, you know, that's not saying anything bad about it because Mr. Do is a great game. But I was really kind of hoping for a Neo Mr. Do kind of treatment, you know? Because that would have been freaking great. Oh, he ran away. You see that? I hate that. My luck is not the best. I want to get that cake. Oh. And the best way to get myself killed is to go after that extra, but I probably should have. Alright, well, we've got some Mr. Do under our belt. Let's look at some other stuff. Alright, so this is Real Monsters, a Nickelodeon game, and I am playing the PAL version of it right now, at least if I can trust the menu. So at the very least, you'll be able to run PAL games on your NTSC Famicom with this. So that's pretty cool. And this is not the greatest game in the world, but it does look really nice, doesn't it? I gotta say, graphically, I never really failed to be impressed by the Super Nintendo's capabilities. Even now, when I've seen so much of it, you know? It's still just pretty amazing what it can do. Oop. I'm looking for a boot. There's gotta be a way to jump higher. There we go. Ha! Oop. And I'm getting it, but oh, I gotta wait for those. Running into everyone. Does that help my health? No. Alright, but anyway. Test of a PAL game. It does work on this. No. Alright, so after this level, I should be able to save. And we'll be able to see if my save state's still there. Come on now. Get back here. That might have cost me it. There we go. And just gotta wait for him to get on the other side. There we go. Defeated. He's an easy one. Come on now. Egg saved. The demented Iggy Koopa. Yay! There we go, continue and save. Alright, so now I should be able to hit reset. And by what I read, it should automatically be saved.
Warning, radiation at unsafe levels.
Alright, so I hit reset, I turned off the Super Nintendo, loaded another game, and then came back to this. So let's see. Yep, there we go. Looks like we've got a successful save going on. Yep, that does work. So that's how you save. You save the game in the game, then you hit the reset button, and then you can turn off your console. I mean, that is kind of a bummer, but hey, it works. Alright, so I just popped the micro SD card into my computer. You might need a reader or an adapter, just depends on your computer. But anyway, I put it in here, shows up as a drive. Windows, Mac, it'll be the same. Linux, same thing. And I couldn't really find any games that I wanted to add to it because it pretty much has everything. But I did find this demo here, so I guess we'll try that out. And I'm going to drag it right here. But there should be no problems because I can see all the ROMs right here. And looks like that is probably going to work pretty well. Let's test it out. All right, so let's pick the demo. And there's some leftovers from my Mac. You know, I pay for Blue Harvest to have that not happen. One of my big annoyances with the Mac is that it does leave this junk on SD cards. Really, Apple, I mean, if you're watching, which you're not, come on. You know, that's just dumb. Anyway. Let's go find it. There we go. There's the smash it. And there's the ROM. Let's try it out and see if it works. This is a PAL ROM, by the way. So other PAL ROMs worked on this, so I don't see why this wouldn't. And there we go. Here, let's turn the audio up a little bit. Look at that. There's a demo. So I added my own, quote, game on there. Well, I added my own demo on there. So that's pretty cool. You absolutely can add your own stuff to this cartridge. And here we go with some Smash TV. And this game I pretty much grabbed right away when it came out on the Super Nintendo. I loved it in the arcade and had to have it. This is one of the things that was better about having a Super Nintendo than a Genesis, and I did actually have both of them right around their release times, and that of course was the diamond layout of the buttons on the Super Nintendo made dual stick shooters make sense. Up until then, you had some weird control methods for trying to get those kinds of games to work, and of course they never did work. But on the Super Nintendo, this works just fine. You know, it plays pretty solid. It just takes a great game and makes it pretty much, I mean, it's not arcade perfect, but it makes it real close to arcade perfect at home. Great game. Bingo! Come on. Don't stand by the doors. There we go. Get the missiles, get the missiles! Come on. It always ticked me off that I would explode if I walked on those mines, but they wouldn't. What a ripoff. Come on now. There we go. Let's go on. Super bowling. Let's go bowling. Great game, by the way. I own a physical copy of this. I actually own this in a box, although I've got the Japanese version. That's kind of rare because I don't actually keep a whole lot of Super Nintendo games around. Ooh, missed. Can't tell I've played it a bit though. I used to play this game with my uncle quite a bit. Graphically, just a great game. Let's do that. Alright. Graphically, it's a great game. I think it's, as far as gameplay, pretty amazing. Right up there with some of the best of them, like Neo Geo's bowling. It's pretty good. I cannot remember. There's a trick to catching these. I got a bad feeling that this is not going to work. Oh, it did though. That's pretty good. Nothing like a spare. Well, you know what's better than a spare? A strike. Uh-oh. Man, this game has always been like that. It loves to stick one of those front pins. Anyway, not surprising to say that it plays just fine. I mean, you know, you're basically loading the ROMs onto the original hardware, so it's not like you're going to run into many problems. I'm sure that the compatibility isn't 100%, but again, when it plays, the games are going to play like they're supposed to play because you're using the original hardware. Let's try a couple more. And here we go with some Lamborghini American Challenge. I think I originally played this on the Amiga. I'm pretty sure that I played this on the Amiga long before I played it on the Super Nintendo. Maybe not long before it, but certainly before I played it on the Super Nintendo. I was really into Top Gear. I'm trying to remember the name of it if you're from Europe. Sorry, I cannot right now remember the name of Top Gear outside of the US. I'm guessing they probably ran into some problems because I don't think Top Gear existed at that time. I know the show ran a long time. But anyway, no idea. We're talking about Lamborghini anyway, which I'm horrible at, for the record. As I remember, the cars are significantly bigger on this version of the game. There's my rival. In 7th position. Uh-oh. You know, I gotta say, this game actually holds up somewhat decently. A lot of the 16-bit era racing games really just they just don't hold up. But this one seems to play pretty decently. I mean, it's a little bit sloppy, but it's not bad, and I think it looks pretty good. Come on now. Stay in first. Stay in first. Don't hit a tree. Does it have brake lights? No, but it's got a boost. Oh! Boost was a mistake. I'm way in first now. Dude, can I turn it off? Yeah, there we go. That was insane. That was a lot of boosting. On the top, is that my percentage complete? With this track? If that's true, then that's a feature that games should have today. Hold on, we'll see. 99. There we go. Yeah, that told me how much of the track I had finished. That's really cool. Huh. Alright, one last one. Here we go with some Parodius. This is from the Japanese part of the collection. And I don't think this game ever made it to the US. Not the Super Nintendo version anyway. And that's sad because this game is great. I mean, just a fun as heck game to play. There is some humor in it, obviously, thus the name Parodius, but it is just a great shooter in its own right. Oh, I should have bit the bullet there. I should have been dead. Should have bit it, I mean. Ooh, there we go, yeah. Got what I deserved. Now I'm in trouble. What is with the little penguin? So much stuff going on. If you ever get a chance to get a copy of this game, absolutely do. It's just weird. In the best possible way. Do not run into that. You see how I was just about to, like, absolutely steer for that? That's just crazy. Alright, come on. Alright, this is gonna be pretty rough. There we go. Made it past it, though. And here we go with the infamous Pirate Meow Meow Cat. Awesome. Come on now. And there we go. Alright, let's wrap this up. And that about wraps it up for the Super 801 Multicart Pro for the Super Nintendo. All in all, I think it's actually pretty decent. The plastics feel good. I like the fact that you can add your own ROMs, although I can't imagine what you would want to add to it because it seems to come with everything. It advertised 800 ROMs. I didn't count them, but I'm willing to guess they weren't lying. It doesn't repeat, at least not across like language lines and region lines. So you might have the same game from Europe, Japan, and the US, but you're not going to have repeats of the same game within the same folders. So that's really nice. This saving system, you know, it's kind of a drag, but at least it does save games, and that's a far cry above some of the really super cheap Super Nintendo cartridges that are out there. This one only cost me, I think, $35 delivered from China. If you're a person who likes to get like tech support and things like that, I would recommend that you get the Crits Original, which is a little bit nicer actually than this one. But I can understand that due to the price, some people might be turned off by that one. But I definitely give it a look if price is not a huge problem for you. All right, anyway, I want to thank you very much for watching this video. If it helped you out, please do me a big favor, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye.